Bro literally ripped his ear off, wore it as a pendant for his necklace, and left his eyeball in the cup. The craziest thing that ever happened throughout my 12 years in prison. All right, so this is how it went down. There's this guy, he got off the slab, which is also known as CM, which means controlled management, which means he's in the SHU, SEG, confinement, whatever you want to call it, for 23 hours a day for years on end. I think this guy had a life sentence. I think he's been in prison already for going on 15 years. And he was just one of those guys who liked to do his time behind the door. He didn't want to be on GP, didn't want to be around the pound, didn't want to do his time with other people. He was always having, assault charges against police officers and things like that. So anyways, they let this guy out of CM. They put him on our compound, which the prison was already one of the worst prisons in the entire state. And they put him in the dorm with a guy who's laid back, is a neutron, doesn't gangbang, anything. Well, apparently, immediately after this guy gets off of CM, moves into this neutron cell, that guy's mother passes away. So he's automatically losing his mind, not already in a mental stable condition as it is. And he decides that he doesn't want to be on GP. He doesn't want to be in general population on the pound any longer. And he wants to go back to CM. So how does he decide to do it? He unalives his roommate. So obviously that's sad. That guy, he was a neutron. He wasn't gang affiliated. He didn't have any crazy charges. He was just a middle-aged man who stayed to himself and had a life sentence, I think, for another murder charge. But what's crazy about this whole story is that this guy who unalived his cellie just so he could go back to CM, he ripped off his ear and then he took out his eyeball and left it in the cup in the cell. And the following morning, as everybody in the dorm was going to chow, going to breakfast, the police officer stopped that convict in the middle of the line as he was scanning his ID to get his tray. And he noticed an ear, a real human ear, hanging as a pendant from his necklace.